Well, to start off with, to make it easier, I bought a roasted tier chicken. I've cut it up in sections, and I've put it in a pot, and I'm going to boil it until the meat basically falls off the bone. Because I found usually when you buy a roasted tier chicken, it's not completely cooked, or I will say it's not completely cooked the way I like it. I don't like any pink meat inside, close to the bone. I want it all to be cooked, and if it's cooked correctly, it's going to fall off the bone. The way it is when you buy a roasted tier chicken, it's not that easy to pull it apart for the most part. And that's because it hasn't been cooked completely. And I think they do that because it sits up on the warmer until people buy it, and it continues to cook with the warmth that that's there, that's keeping it warm for people. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm boiling my chicken. This is a whole chicken, a whole roasted tier chicken. Now you can start from scratch and just buy a whole chicken uncooked, cut it all up, cut it in sections, cut the legs off, the wings off, cut the breast in half, that type of thing. Put it in your pot and start cooking it. Just cook it until it falls off the bone. And then later we'll add our seasoning. Well, I think our chicken has been cooking long enough. Turn the heat down just a little. Because what I'm going to do is get my chicken out and let it be cooling so I can get it off the bone. And it's been cooking probably for an hour. Because like I said, I like mine really done. I like it to be falling off the bone, basically. And it's pretty much to that point right now. Just going to make sure I get all the bones. Get that other chicken breast. Now, I'm not going to strain my broth. I want my broth just like it is. Now, what I'm going to do, I've got carrots, I've got celery, and I've got onion. Now, this is about a medium-sized onion. I got about a half a cup of celery and probably 3/4 cup of carrots that I'm going to put in here. Go ahead and turn that back up. I've got 3 or 4 big white potatoes already peeled and chopped up. They've already been washed several times. And I need water in my pot, so I'm just adding the potatoes and the water combined. Now, I've got cut green beans. And if you haven't guessed it, yes ma'am, we're making, or yes people, we're making soup. We're making a good old comfort soup here. And I don't want to add too much water, so I'm draining the beans. And I've got some whole kernel corn. Doesn't matter what brand. You just need some whole kernel corn here. And this can opener in this can is not cooperating. Making a mess on my counter. I don't know why it's doing that. It's not happened before. So let's see. It's not grabbing the can correctly for some reason. I don't know if it's the can, the way I was holding it, or what. Now, I am going to put the juice of my corn in there. If I can get this lid up. Well, it's not cut all the way around here. Problems, y'all. Now, maybe. This still is not cut all the way through. And it doesn't look like I'm going to get it cut all the way through. There. I made a mess. But at least I got that lid. Got that corn in there. Now to clean up my mess over here, I got corn juice all over the counter, all over the stove. Sometimes that happens, y'all. You get hold of an uncooperative can. And it just happens. Went back down in here. Oh well, that's good. Now basically all we got to do is cook our potatoes, and I probably should have waited on my potatoes and not put them in yet because they cook faster than anything. I'm going to put a little bit of about a a teaspoon of garlic. I'm going to add some salt. And I'm using Himalayan salt because that's what I've got on hand. You can use any kind of salt you want. Pepper. Now, I'm just going to let that cook. While I get my, and yeah, I had a mishap, y'all. Look at my nose. I got a Band-Aid on my nose. I was fixing a spring yesterday, and I ended up having to get a if I can talk, a pair of pliers to compress the spring. And I almost got it in the slot where it needed to go, and it popped out. And guess what? It popped right on my nose. It hurt because, you know, it hit right on that bone. It busted my nose and it just started bleeding like crazy. So yeah, I've got a bandage on my nose. Of all places. But I'll survive. Now feel free to put any veggies that you want in your soup. I'm going to go ahead and proceed to debone my chicken. And hopefully I won't have mishaps doing that. And I'm not going to be too particular about the pieces. I'm just wanting it off the bone. I'll have pretty good sized pieces in there. But that's okay. Woo! I need to get another fork. Because this chicken is still hot. These breasts are hot. I thought about making chicken and dumplings, and you can make chicken and dumpling soup, but I decided on potatoes this time. There's nothing that says comfort to me more than a bowl of good chicken soup. Especially if it's homemade. Ooh, that's hot, y'all. But I like to get all the skin off. I don't like the skin in my soup. It's like I don't like the skin of the chicken in my chicken and dumplings either. But I got to learn, with springs, especially in a pair of pliers, sometimes those things fight back. Whew, that's hot. I don't know why I got the other fork. I'm not even using it. I'm using my fingers. I guess your fingers work better than anything else, I think your fingers, your hands were the best tools ever invented. I don't know what I'd do without my hands. Ooh. Hot, hot, hot. Yeah, but I put probably 4 white potatoes cut up, good sized potatoes. Not great big ones, but they were good sized ones. And about a half a cup of celery, about a half a cup of carrots, a medium sized onion, and see, the only way to get meat off of a chicken neck is to use your fingers. You can feel for the bones, so you don't put any bones back in. Yeah, I take a notion for different foods at different times, and this time I wanted some chicken soup. Good old-fashioned chicken soup, homemade. The only thing I did is I cheated on my chicken. I bought one that was already cooked and just cooked it some more. But I got it because it was pretty cheap. I got it for like $4, and I couldn't buy a whole chicken raw for $4. I don't know of anywhere you could get a whole chicken for $4 that hasn't been cooked. Woo! But when you're retired, you're elderly, you do whatever it takes to save money on your grocery bills, you know. Just like I said, when you make a quantity of stuff and you got a bunch left over, don't throw it to the dogs. That's frozen meals. Put it in your freezer. Save it for a day that you don't feel like cooking, or you just don't want to cook. It's convenient food. There's my AC kicked on. It's cooled off some because we got a good rain during the night and this morning, but it hasn't rained all day. I think we were supposed to get more tonight or this evening, maybe more tomorrow, which we need it. My garden is loving this, I'm sure. Yeah, me and the onion had a battle earlier, man. I was crying and cutting up onion. I said, I'll spare y'all the trauma of me cutting up onion. This is going to be some good chicken soup, y'all. I mean, it's just coming off the bone. And that's the way I like it. That means it's thoroughly cooked. When it's just falling off the bone like that. Yeah, I found the best way to debone a chicken that's really cooked is just do it with your fingers. Best tool in the world. Needless to say, after my little mishap with the spring, I put it down. I haven't touched it since. I said, that could have been my eye, you know. I said, that could have hit my eye just as easily as my nose. Thank God it didn't. That's how people lose their eyes, is being hit with stuff like that. That's the Tucci. that was my dad's favorite part of the chicken, believe it or not. That's what he called it, the Tucci. And believe it or not, it's got plenty of meat on it. But you know, as a kid, you frown on somebody eating a chicken butt. But hey, I guess if you're going to eat the rest of the chicken, why not the butt? Did I say that? It's just not my go-to piece of chicken. I've done chicken and pastry videos last year. I think I've done soup videos before too, but this one has a little bit different ingredients than my other chicken soup. Because sometimes I like to put pasta in my soup. Sometimes I might make dumplings. Sometimes I might make chicken and rice. There's so many different ways to cook chicken. And see there, that's all bones right there. Okay, where's my spoon? I'll use this. Now, some people at this point will put in chicken bouillon, but you know, I've got already a whole pot full of chicken broth from that chicken. So I don't think I'm going to need chicken bouillon. I'm not going to need chicken soup or creamy chicken soup, which a lot of people will put in there. Taste my broth for a little bit of seasoning. Onion, I've got garlic, I've got salt, I've got pepper, I've got corn, I've got carrots, celery, potatoes, a fully deboned chicken in there. You don't need anything else. I mean, this is what I always called the poor man's soup, because you don't have to put 1,000,001 other ingredients in this soup. You don't need all the different flavorings and the seasonings and all that. I mean, if you've got it and you want to put it in there, more power to you, you can. But you don't have to. This chicken soup is so flavorful just like it is. You really don't need to add anything else. And the thing of it now is you just need to cook it till your potatoes are done and enjoy your soup. Well, we're back, y'all. I think my potatoes might be done. Yeah, the potatoes, all those veggies are done. Now we're going to take it one step further. I'm going to add just a little bit of flour. Got about a tablespoon right there. I'm diluting it down in some water. Guess you can see me. Because we're going to thicken our broth up just a little bit, not much. And if you haven't guessed it already, this is going to be chicken pot pie soup. I may have to add more flour than this, I don't know. But I want it creamy, and I'm not adding milk because like I've told people in the past, I'm allergic to milk. So I grew up with my mom making lots of recipes without milk. That's one reason I stay away from a lot of recipes that call for milk, especially the heavy creams, because I can't eat it. It does not agree with my body, my stomach, nothing. So, and I could put a little bit of milk or heavy cream in this, but I'm not going to for that reason. I'm just adding that little bit of flour, and I'm hoping that 1 tablespoon of flour will thicken it. If not, I can always add just a little bit more. Whoops. I've got garlic toast in my oven down here in the broiler. Oh, I can get down here to it. It's starting to brown. I don't want it to burn. Like I said, I may have to add a little more, I don't know. I just kind of guess at it as I go. But this is a good soup for those of you that like a creamy soup and not just a watery basic soup. I like the creamy soups myself. I just can't put the milk, the heavy creams and stuff in there. I'll have that ready in case I need it. I may not need it. But don't that look good? Oh my gosh. There, I got my bread done. Bend down like that and my britches go up. Yeah, I'm going to add another little bit of the flour. And it's going to taste so good, you're not going to notice there's no milk in there. And this is a good recipe for the people that are allergic to dairy products. And I know I'm allergic to lots of different foods. I can tell it the minute I eat anything. Like if my nose starts getting watery, my sinuses get cloggy, I know I'm allergic to whatever I'm eating. But usually I'm not so allergic that I can't eat it. That's the way it's been my whole life. But we're going to let that simmer just a little bit. Get my other plate out of here. Faucet's just going crazy. I got to take it apart and see if I can fix it. That might be all I need of the flour. It was about 2 tablespoons. Just enough to thicken it up a tiny bit. I mean, I feel like when it's 95 to 100 degrees outside, if you could cook something on the stove and it's just as good as it would be in the oven, why not? I only had my broiler on for like 10 minutes. Because the minute I turned it on, I put my bread in. And by the time it started warming up a little bit, my bread was toasted and I could just turn my oven off. So my oven didn't really heat up the house or anything. Now, a lot of people, if you have gardens, you can put greens in your soup at this point, like small, tender spinach leaves, small, tender kale leaves, or anything like that. I'm not going outside to get any right now, or I wouldn't mind putting it in there myself. Sometimes I do, and I have it ready. It's gonna be good. I'm just cooking that flour that's in there a little bit because you don't want to eat raw flour. Just let it go a few more minutes. And as it cooks, it'll thicken up a little bit more. I mean, I don't want it real thick because this is soup, but I don't want it real, like normal, put it that way. I don't know what I mean. Y'all have to tell me what I mean. But doesn't that look good already, y'all? And chicken pot pie soup has got to have butter. One of the most important ingredients is a couple of tablespoons of butter. Gotta have your butter, y'all. If there's not butter in it, it's not good. Now, if it doesn't end up as thick as you'd like the broth, you can always add a little bit more flour. But see how creamy and all the broth looks at this point? Oh my, look at that. Just look at that. Turn that so I don't drip it all over the handle. Look at that, y'all. Does that not look good? Just does that not look good? Show you a close-up. That looks good enough to eat. Good enough to eat. But I said with my injured nose, I needed comfort food. I'm trying to get a little bit of everything on my spoon. Y'all try some chicken pot pie soup. Go ahead, don't be shy. That is so good. And like I said, if it's not as thick as you want the broth, add a little bit more flour. Take another bite. Steamy hot soup. That is good. And top it all off with a piece of garlic bread. Garlic toast. That is a winner right there. Definitely a winner. So make you some chicken pot pie soup, y'all. This is my version, my recipe. I didn't look at anybody else's to get this. This is my original recipe for chicken pot pie soup. Make some, enjoy. It's really good and so simple to make. See you on the next one. Love you. Turns into a really creamy soup. Don't that look good? Chicken pot pie soup. You can't go wrong. Try it. I think you'll love it.